Welcome, one and all, episode 6
This many.
of the Wide 80 podcast. It's a lovely Thursday, and I got the crew with me. Same guys as always. Colby's taking Space City to another level. We got Mr. Short Stuff himself. He can birdie on a par 4 or sell you a 3-bed 2-bath, whichever one you want. Short Stuff Golf Colby is in the place to be. And underneath me, he doesn't need an introduction.
We already know,
but we're gonna give it to him anyway. He's the 2023. We were just talking about his winnings before we went live. All his success, fantasy, sports in general champion. We got Chandler underneath, but most importantly, the 2023 fantasy baseball champion. We're all here. It's a beautiful Thursday. Vibes are good. It's probably been a long week, but we always look forward to times like this. Always 7 p.m. on Thursdays. This is where you want to be with the Wide 80 podcast. Before we get going, would love to plug our social media. Look for the blue logo, TikTok, YouTube. I post clips 6 days a week, and you can always catch them TikTok, YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. I don't even have Spotify, but we're on there. The Apple Podcast app that everyone and their mom has an iPhone. So go to your podcast app, Wide 80 Podcast. We're right there. We're coming at you weekly. Every Friday, the full episodes get uploaded, and then the clips come day after day. Fellas, how are we feeling? Colby, what's space like?
Oh, it feels great up here, man.
It's cold.
If ever I do become a professional golfer, and the guy who, like, whenever they first tee off on the first tee, and he does the announcement that, hey, this is so and so from so and so. I want you to be my guy. That was a great intro, dude.
I love that. I walk around my island in my kitchen while I'm working or while I'm having lunch, and I think about how I'm going to introduce the guys.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about Chandler besides he's just a great fantasy sports player. But Colby, I'm like, I mean, he's my brother, so I know a little bit more. So I can. That's when I talk about his hilarious. Colby makes some hilarious content on his realtor
if you're
channel.
Not already following all of his channels, you're missing out.
So for those little background of what we do, every Tuesday or so, we get on Zoom and we go over what we're going to talk about. So it's not just completely on the cuff when we're recording today, but it's just me and Colby. And he goes, hey, go to my realtor TikTok and watch the latest video. I was dying, bro. Like the quick cuts is just unbelievable. So he's either birdieing a par 4 or he's selling a 2-bed, 3-bath, more bathrooms than bedrooms. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
He could shit all day. But
come on.
That's hilarious.
So I mean, we got a great episode planned, a little more interactive amongst each other. We really want to
a couple games and such.
I have a blast doing the drafts and stuff like that. So we kind of want to cater things more towards some fun stuff like that, while also talking about the stuff that needs to be talked about. So obviously we're in combine and draft season when it comes to the NFL. So a little light there, respectfully so. That's what's expected as the season's over. But we're going to get into the draft as the weeks go on. Right now, we've been kind of talking about the Chicago Bears and their number 1 pick. There's obviously, I have a take, and we all know my take, and it's going to be interesting. Before I get to my runway, right? The consensus is, do you take Caleb Williams and you trade Justin Fields? Do you trade the first overall pick to somebody to acquire more draft picks and keep Justin Fields and build around that team? I would like, before I get into my spiel, I'd like to hear you guys and sort of what you think Chicago should do with the first overall pick, which is the talk of the town right now.
Yeah, it's just the easy thing to jump on, right?
Right.
I mean, that's We no more free agents left to talk about. Might as well just start with number one. That's a cop out from us. You caught us, right? Guilty. But yeah, I mean, I think you hit the two other options right on the head, right, Brandon? As far as you either draft somebody like Caleb Williams, or not somebody like, but you draft Caleb Williams number one. That means you let Justin Fields go. Well, you trade away that draft pick in hopes for more capital, more skill position players, maybe some more solid defensive players. My question is, is how much is it worth? How much is that draft pick worth right now? And you can look at it from a monetary standpoint, or if there are other players out there, even guys where they're coming up on the end of their contract with certain teams. If those teams are looking to maybe trade those guys away in tandem for that number one pick because they see something else in somebody, it's going to be super interesting to watch. I'm excited. Y'all hang on to your hats and your seats for Brandon's take. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's right in front of us. We can have all the speculation. I'm not going to pretend to be a GM other than when I do. And yeah, Colby, what you thinking, man?
I think no matter what happens, a quarterback's got to come out of this. Like they have to draft a quarterback no matter what. No matter if they give him away, keep him, what have you. Regardless, I think there needs to be a draft of a quarterback, just so you can figure out like what is going on. What are we going to do at this position?
Talking
I
about
know
for the
it's
Bears specifically?
yeah for the Bears, yeah, for
Gotcha.
sure. So no matter what, I think a quarterback's got to come out of college for sure.
Do you think that number one pick has to be used on a quarterback?
I think so because you got to figure something out at quarterback. You got to no matter what it is. So it's a very simple take. I know it's not a whole lot, but that's I think the one thing that they need to do is get a quarterback.
And my question is if other teams see that number one pick valued at a quarterback as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't dove into the draft prospects quite yet at this point in time, but could anybody be more valuable than Caleb Williams in the draft?
I don't know. It depends on the team, I guess, what they see.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I think this is definitely a draft where there's zero chatter on anybody else going at number one besides Caleb Williams. If there's any conversation, it's, do you have to take Caleb? Is there so much of a distance between Drake May or May and Daniels, and Penix is skyrocketing up the draft boards after his medicals came back clear. But they said there could be 6 quarterbacks going in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So to Colby's point, if Chicago still wants to take a quarterback and stack up on draft picks, they could still trade away, and still get a first round caliber quarterback. But we all know, we've talked about where I stand on this, and I think I have a different position, and a position that I don't think is talked about at all. And I understand the politics of everything. So I want to preface this by saying I think you can win in either position. I think if you take Caleb Williams and trade Justin Fields, I think if you trade the first overall pick and keep Justin Fields and essentially pass on Caleb Williams, I think there's still situations where you come out a better football club. But here's the thing that nobody's talking about, and I don't understand why. Finances don't point to it. There's really no reason other than we just seem to believe that there's only 2 options. But I'm here to propose a third option. Okay? The Chicago Bears draft Caleb Williams at 1 and still keep Justin Fields. Now, let me explain something to you guys. That seems off the wall, and I get it. Like I said, I think there's positives in every single scenario. So I'm not saying this is the correct way, but I'm saying it is simply a way that has positives that is not being talked about. So the Chicago Bears historically are the worst quarterback franchise when we're talking about franchises that have been around for forever, right? We're not talking about like Jacksonville that, came around, in the 90s. We're not talking about the new clubs, right? Chicago's been around for forever. And they have not had a 4,000 plus yard quarterback in their entire history. Tell me, and I told you guys this, or I asked this of you guys. Tell me who's the best quarterback in Bears history, and it's sad the names that you come up with.
I'm still going Jay Cutler.
Like, it's so bad. So I'm here saying you're not going to go far unless you have the quarterback situation figured out. Okay. If Caleb Williams is truly this generational talent, will any of us know until he hits the field in the NFL? No. But as of right now, he's being labeled as a generational talent. Awesome. Get him on your team. Does anybody know who Caleb Williams' favorite player in history is? I watched interviews. Does anyone know who his favorite player of all time is? His favorite player
NFL player?
Yes.
I was going to go Aaron Rodgers.
That is 100% correct.
Yeah.
It is Aaron Rodgers. What did Aaron Rodgers do when he got drafted to Green Bay? He sat behind Brett Favre, right? So I think here's what you do. You take Caleb Williams. You have him and Justin Fields battle it out in preseason and in camp. Now, if you get to the end of preseason, end of camp, and Caleb's your guy by far, you can still trade Justin Fields. He's on a very tradable contract. He's at the end of his rookie deal. I think he's only like $6 million on the cap when you add in his base and like his signing bonus and like stuff like that. I think he's a $6 million cap hit this year. So you can still get value for him. And throughout preseason, what happens? Players get hurt in camp and in preseason games. So there could be a situation where a team that maybe wasn't a home for Justin Fields right now, I think due to injury, due to circumstances happening in the preseason, a home opens up for Justin Fields. He can go start somewhere before the regular season starts, and he can still have his career, and you can still get draft capital from that team. And then you got your franchise quarterback in Caleb Williams, or you have them duke it out. Justin Fields is your guy. Okay, Caleb Williams is sitting for a few years, and then maybe you just end up not re-signing Justin Fields. So, like,
you say a few years, it might just be 1 year.
Yeah, it might just be 1 year because he has a club option next year. I just think we're getting away, and I understand in the social media age, there's less competing than there once was. Completely understand that, right? But I think we're kind of shying away of like the competitive aspect of a position battle, which is what we've seen in the past with the quarterback position. You have the veteran that's there, that's trying to put food on the table, and he still wants to play and prove himself. And it's crazy calling Justin Fields a veteran because I feel like he was a rookie yesterday. But I mean, I guess if you want to call 3 years a veteran, but like you have the guy who's been there, and then you have Caleb Williams, the rookie. Go earn it, man. Like, go earn it. Both of them go earn it. Yeah. Justin Fields, earn your spot as the guy because you think you're the guy. I hope you do in this position. Caleb Williams, you think you're the guy. Go beat dude and then win the quarterback job. Like that, you're not going to go far. Look at the history of past Super Bowl winners. Who had a bad quarterback in those history? 2016, Peyton Manning's last year when he won with the Broncos, he was awful. He was really bad. But other than that,
it was a defensive game.
Yeah, but like other than that, you have really good quarterbacks. Like you have your Brock Purdy's and your Jared Goffs and whatever your opinion is like on those. But like you got to get the quarterback right to come out of these situations ahead. And I think if you have an opportunity to still work with Justin Fields and take this generational talent, again, I'm not going to say I agree with that or not, but if you have an opportunity to get two guys in there, I feel like your chance of success is doubled, and then figure it out.
Yeah, I think the kicker and all that is compete, right? Because it's not like you're bringing in a vet that like Aaron Rodgers to the Jets, right? Zach Wilson wasn't like, oh, I'm going to fucking compete with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
he's like, no, I'm preparing for a second role, you know?
Yeah.
I think that would be a key indication or a key distinction with the Bears is Justin Fields like, hey, dude, your ass is on the line too. Like if you do not perform, we're taking this rookie and then good luck elsewhere, you know? So it's got to happen. I feel like that aspect, what you bring to the table, this perspective here, I feel like that has to happen. Rather, it should happen because then you're going to get either the best out of Fields or the best out of Williams, and you get to ride that hot hand.
Yeah, and it's not like, I mean, the NFL regulates what each rookie makes, you know, depending on where they're drafted. So you're going to get paid like a first overall pick, Caleb Williams, right? You're going to make a first, no matter if you start or back up, you're going to get the same amount of money, right? So you're going to, it's not like you're going to make, it's not like back in the day, like I think Sam Bradford was the last guy to do this. It's not like you're going to sign a $80 million contract and not play. Like, no, you're going to get your, I don't know the number, but I think you're going to get your 40 or whatever the number one pick makes. And like, you might have to sit for a year, or not trying to predict harm on anybody, but Justin Fields has had his injuries. Like, there's a chance he's going to play regardless, even if he is sitting.
Yep.
So, and if things start to go wrong with Justin Fields, like first 6 games, you know, you're 1-5, and okay,
Yeah,
well then it's time to move on. And the NFL has a trade deadline for a reason.
Yeah, if Caleb Williams is who we all think he is and how it's all portrayed, then that guy's trying to take that starting job every single day at practice. And so if he doesn't come out the gates with it, it's just that competition doesn't stop at that point in time.
I just think if you have an opportunity to have, like, Justin could be your guy, but you're not sure, right? You wouldn't be having this conversation right now if you were sure that he was your guy.
He'd be gone already.
Yeah. And then like Caleb Williams, you're not sure if you're ready to hand the franchise over. Okay, well then let's have both of them put it all out on the line and let's see what happens. And then even if you still wanted to trade Justin Fields, okay, well you can trade him once Caleb's won the job. You can trade Justin and then just stack up draft capital for next year's draft. I mean, it's the same thing but different, right?
Same but different.
Right. So that's a take that I haven't seen with all the analysts that are talking about it. I have not seen this take yet. It might be out there somewhere, but I haven't seen it. And it just kind of blows my mind that we're just sort of just kind of like forgetting that aspect of, okay, let's have these two dudes, you know, put them in a phone booth and let's see who comes out.
After you explained it, it just seems like that's the one that makes the most sense, but no one's talking about.
Not a I haven't seen. It's either, and again, the situations that are out there, the scenarios as far as taking Caleb Williams, trading Justin Fields outright, or keeping Justin Fields and trading the number one pick to get more draft capital for this draft. Both those are great hit. Like, I'm not saying they're wrong. Like, those are great ideas. I think you can still come out an improved ball club if you do either of those things. But I just like the fact that no one's thinking about that. And I think there's like an aspect of, oh, well, you know, if you take Caleb Williams but keep Justin Fields, there's going to be a riff in the locker room, and it's bad for your club that, you know, two dudes are going at it that have so much character or whatever. And it's like, bro, it's ball at the end of the day.
When did competition become bad in the locker room?
Yeah, like, why are y'all mad at competition here?
It's ball, like play. I don't know. I don't want to sound like a boomer or anything. It's just like your job is to play football, but you know, there's a competing aspect to it. And again, from a GM standpoint, y'all got to get the quarterback right before you think of any type of success. And I think your chances double if you have two guys that could, you know, do the job.
I think you bait the Drake May first pick, have Washington trade up from second to first. Let them take
put
Drake
something
May,
out in the media about
take Caleb Williams at 2.
No, and I mean, I think this is a quarterback heavy draft.
Switch.
Quarterback heavy draft. So like if Chicago wanted to keep Justin Fields and then, you know, trade that first pick and then maybe second round get Michael Penix, I don't know.
Like, he falls to the second.
So he was supposed to be a late round or, you know, maybe a second day guy because we've read his medical history. It's the worst thing you've ever seen. But apparently at the combine, all his medicals came out on point.
And he looked decent.
Now they're saying he could slide into the first round. They're saying there could, because I think the record is 6 quarterbacks in the first round. They're saying this could tie the record. I don't think there's 7 guys that will go, but I mean, you got Daniels, May, McCarthy, Caleb, Penix. Like there's some dudes in this draft, apparently. Again, all these dudes could just be, because people like Zach Wilson coming out of college. I mean, you just never know until you get on the field. So I tend not to go too crazy over prospects, but at the end of the day, it sounds like there's going to be some dudes available. But yeah, that's my Bears take, and then I appreciate you guys chiming in.
I think it's
I've
a good one.
I've been itching to get that out for a long time. I can only talk to my wife about this stuff so much before she's just kind of like, I have no idea what you're saying.
Well, we were chatting about that before we went live here today too. Is like there's so much we want to talk about with each other prior, but we have to leave.
There has to be some type of surprise.
And so he introduced it, but we didn't get the full take whenever he introduced it. So
okay. So moving on, this is something that we kind of came up with. I've been seeing it on TikTok. What we will have, and I will share my screen so that we can pull her up. So I will, let me know when you guys all see it, right?
you're good to go.
We're good.
So this is a random NFL generator wheel. We are going to spin this wheel, and we are each going to take turns filling up a starting, I guess, NFL lineup: quarterback, running back, 3 receivers, tight end. And we're all going to alternate picks. And whoever it lands on, we're going to go all-time teams and see what lineup we put together. And, I'm sure people will have great opinions on this.
I'm gonna do my best not to fumble this.
I feel like, I have a Jeff Garcia pick in me. I'm telling you. Okay, so
there's no kicker position.
Colby, how about you set it off?
Sure. I'll let you know when it stops, or just tell me, I guess.
You got the Carolina Panthers first pick. All-time Carolina Panther. I mean, you got CMC right there. Christian McCaffrey, Steve Smith.
I'm feeling a Steve Smith pick.
All right, Steve Smith at receiver. Okay, we got a dog on our team. We got a dog on our team.
Luke Kuechly at running back.
All right, I'm gonna go number 2. Look at that.
I'm gonna go number 2. I'm just joking. Take it away, man.
Oh, number 2.
Houston Texans for the listeners. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Man, should I do it?
You have to do it. You have
Let's
to
go
do it.
CJ Stroud.
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's
no.
go
Let's
CJ
go.
Stroud. It's something we were all in sync on what the pick was there.
Yep.
Okay, so Chandler. All right, so we got Steve Smith as one of our 3 receivers, and we got CJ Stroud at quarterback. The New York Giants.
Ooh, do we want a running back?
I mean, this is you, man.
Yeah, this is rough.
I mean, you got
Brandon Jacobs.
Name it was with the Jets. So
yeah, there's no Joe, and we got a quarterback.
Yeah, so I'll go Saquon. I'll go Saquon all time because I
Saquon
think he's better than the
Barkley.
team.
Look at this young.
Look at this young team, and look, CJ and Saquon end up in the same team. Check that out.
What do you know?
All right,
we don't predict the future; we just tell it.
All right, we don't need a serpentine, so Colby's is on you. Kansas City Chiefs. This is where that CJ Stroud pick kind of.
Yeah, no, it's perfect because we got a tight end.
I mean, you got tight end, right?
Yeah.
You gotta go. I mean, you could go Kelsey or Tony Gonzalez, but
we're gonna go with Kelsey.
Travis
Kelsey.
or Mecole Hardman. Are y'all sleeping on Noah Gray? Okay, that's perfect. All right. This is a squad. I'm telling you, this is a squad. So we got 2 receivers.
That's it.
Cincinnati Bengals. Give me Chad Ochocinco.
I like that.
At receiver. Okay. And to round it out, this has to be a receiver. Let's get something good. Let's get something good, baby. I mean, it's not a sexy pick. So, I mean, you gotta go Tyreek, right? I mean, you have.
I feel like it, but I'm more of a Waddle fan.
No, okay.
Waddle.
Okay, hold on. Time.
Yeah, Tyreek.
Okay, so then that will round up the team. So we have CJ Stroud at quarterback, Saquon Barkley at running back, Travis Kelce at tight end, and our wide receivers are Tyreek Hill, Steve Smith, and Chad Johnson Ochocinco.
Dude, that's such a fast receiver core.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
You got some dogs on that team.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Dude, how fun was that? Okay,
everybody's the same size.
Everybody's the same size.
Travis Kelce's biggest person.
So I was thinking, if the more we do stuff like that and do lineups like that, we can add caveats like, we're spin the wheel and it's only current players, or
All right.
spin the, we do like little
That's where my
adjustments
brain's
like
at
that.
anyway, man. I'm not going back in history.
Well, I was thinking like wide receiver for the Dolphins in history. Like, I mean,
I
you
got
going
stuck.
Greg Camarillo, Devon Bess,
There you
some
go.
tough teams. All right. So are we ready? Is it draft time, boys?
Let's do
It's
it.
time. It's everybody's favorite part of the podcast. This is when we draft something sports related and you guys tell us who had the best team. I'm going to proclaim myself as the champion of
Because you
the last
had
one.
one
comment.
vote. One vote.
Hey.
We had 0.
And it's
but you
not
had
even
one.
close.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen.
And it's not even
Listen,
close.
listen. I'm the champion of the
Linda.
people. I'm a champion of the people. Okay.
You're the
Anyway.
champion of person.
of people.
Yeah.
So
one
A
people.
single person.
a single individual. So today we did the best sports movies of all time last week.
Yeah.
This week we're staying in the same family, but we're going best sports video games of all time. And the draft order this time, Chandler will kick it off. Your boy's going second, and Colby will go third, and we will serpentine it because that's
Colby's
what we
going
do.
second and third.
Oh, did I say that wrong? Chandler's
just
going
joking.
second,
No,
and then
second,
Colby's going third.
yeah.
My bad.
I'm joking.
I
Okay.
don't mind it. I'll go twice. Shoot.
He's like, Chandler, you sit this one out, buddy. No. So let's let me make sure that I have our teams rocking. Chandler, who do you got? Or I guess what do you got?
This is so hard. This
For
was
the
a lot of
first
fun.
pick.
But as far as picking number one, I think I have to pick it for myself and not because I think y'all have it on your list and you're gonna take it from me. And
However
I'm
you
picking it for
feel.
the masses too. That one person. I want one person saying top right, not even close. Backyard baseball.
Yep.
Yep.
That's on my
Gangsta.
list. That's a
That's
good one.
OG right there, buddy.
Actually, backyard baseball I added today. I didn't have it until I woke
That
up.
is one that will wake you up from a deep
I
sleep.
woke up in a 3 a.m. sweat and was like, backyard baseball. That's a beautiful pick. All right. So with my first pick, I'm gonna just knock it out the park. First pick. I'm going NFL Blitz, Nintendo 64.
God darn it.
Such a good game.
Yeah.
I had so much fun with that.
Yeah, that's
it
what
was good.
That's
like
that's
after
what
the
we're going
play,
with.
you go over there and like body
Just
slam
power,
somebody.
just power bomb a linebacker.
Yeah.
All right.
Cover from the
Colby,
top rope.
Players on fire.
third pick. Who you got?
My third pick, I'm going Golden Tee.
God.
That was my
Colby.
first pick. I remember rolling the ball back and like taking a running start and that shit was
Golden
so much
Tee.
fun.
All right, so you're going back to back. What you got second pick?
Okay,
Nervous.
I'm gonna go with it's a Nintendo 64 game, WCW versus NWO World Tour.
Nitro.
Oh, let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, it was such a good game. I remember playing
That's
that so much
such a
when I was
good
kid.
one. So with my second pick, man, how do I want to do it? Let's just get it out there. I'm gonna take 2 football games in a row. I'm gonna go NFL Street.
God. Dude, can we I quit. No, I'm just joking.
There we go. You got 2 in a row, so you can make it up here. But I'm
Yeah,
going
we can. We
NFL
can.
Street. I like it. Okay. Chandler, your second pick.
Oh, because it's gonna get taken. NBA Jam.
Yep.
All in the same time frame, same genre-esque.
Yep.
Good time.
That's
I'm
a
just
great one.
strolling down memory lane right now.
Yeah,
Yup.
this is fantastic.
Round 3 for the Serpentine here. Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yep.
The ultimate classic.
Oh yeah.
That's such a
Here
good
I
pick.
am growing over all the time. Oh, dude, get out of here. Yeah.
Okay, so with my third pick, see, like, there's one I want to go, but it would just kind of be a copy of my last pick. So I'm gonna leave it right now. I'm gonna go super old school. For my third pick, I'm gonna go Mike Tyson's Punch Out
Dude.
All right.
for
All
the
right.
Super Nintendo.
Yep.
Man.
For my third pick. All right, Colby, your third pick.
OG.
I think that might have been the first game that involved a bob.
Yeah,
Like you could go
a
left
little bit
to
of a
right.
weave. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go with NBA Street Volume 2.
Yeah.
That's
The
what
one of the best soundtracks
Yes, that game was so much fun.
See, my last pick, when I told you, I was like, I could take one, but I had NFL Street. I don't want to take NBA Street 2, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it would just be kind of that. So I like that Kobe got that. All right, your next pick.
This is the fourth pick, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Mario Tennis.
Nice.
I played that
Nice.
game so
What a
much,
pick.
dude.
What a pick.
Mario Tennis. Love that game.
All right. With my fourth pick, this is going to be kind of funny, but I think it was revolutionary. I'm going to go Wii Sports.
Dude, yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Where you bowl
That could
and
have
you
gone
play
one.
golfing.
Yeah, that could
It
have
could
gone one.
easily, the golfing part was fun.
Yeah.
Bowling, dude.
Yeah. I'm going to go Wii Sports with my fourth pick. Chandler, what you got?
Man. We talked about it. We talked about it before the podcast. Colby and I just used to play the absolute nonsense out of this game when it came out. UFC Undisputed 2009.
Yeah.
That's the first good UFC game that came out. And being able to do a flying knee on somebody was just awesome.
Yeah.
Can't do it in real life.
I
I
mean,
test that too.
You could, but you know.
Nice.
Starting off the 5th round, I've got NHL Hits.
wow.
That's the 3-on-3 arcade game that was just absolutely bonkers. Way too much fun to play. And I couldn't leave it off the list. I got 2 honorable mentions too when we get there.
Absolutely. All right. With my last pick, man, there's so many that I don't want to leave off here. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna go SSX Tricky, the snowboard game.
Honorable
Yeah.
mention from me.
SSX Tricky. I love that game.
All
All right, Colby, finish out this draft. I'm sad it's over.
Yeah, I'm sad too. I am torn between all this because I got like 5 of them, and I'm like, oh,
Just
one more
combine them
throw
into
out there.
one.
But I have to go with NFL 2K5,
Yep.
the one with Terrell Owens on the cover. That was arguably one of like the best designed and
That's
way of
the
playing that
best
game.
football game of all time.
You can put yourself in the helmet.
Yeah, the
play as a
helmet view where
quarterback.
you could play
Yeah.
running back and you
Yeah.
were just in the helmet and you can actually see the play developing
Yeah.
and everything, bro.
And like when they threw the ball, it followed the ball. Like just the way it had
Wasn't
the
it?
overbird. Yeah.
To sprint, you had to like tap
Like tap,
X.
tap, 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 tap.
Oh my god! I
And
mean,
the
that was
cuts
if
in
you
the
were on
game,
PlayStation.
The running backs, like when they cut, it just looks so
It was
realistic.
like today. It's the mechanics of it was so realistic for
Still the
that
best.
time.
Yeah.
So to round out, Chandler, who drafted first, he has Backyard Baseball, NBA Jam, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, UFC Undisputed 2009, and NHL Hits. I didn't think I'd get a hockey game out of any of y'all, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Gotta
I
spread
went
the love.
second. I got NFL Blitz, NFL Street, Mike Tyson Punch Out, Wii Sports, and SSX Tricky.
Nice.
And then Colby, Golden Tee, WCW, NBA Street Volume 2, Mario Tennis, and NFL 2K5.
Mhm.
I don't know if Colby's my brother, but every time, I mean, I know you're my brother. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's because you're my brother, but every time we do these drafts, I just feel like Colby beats me. I don't know if it's because I'm the younger brother and I'm just
Yeah,
supposed to
you're
lose,
biased.
but I'm
You're
just
biased.
like,
I
that's
don't feel
crazy.
that way. I
To
feel like
get
you guys-
Mario
I-
Tennis in the 4th round is insane.
I actually think Brandon won that, and that's because of his NFL back-to-back.
Yeah, that was something.
Shout
And
out
I
Hydro
I-
Thunder.
I
I know
didn't.
it's not really a sport, but
I did. Oh my god,
Dude, in the arcade, man.
Hold
Come
on.
You just went like
Yep.
Please tell me
Yep.
to make me feel better. Please tell me that I couldn't have picked this and it would have been disqualified. Wave Race for the
yeah,
64.
same thing. Yeah,
Wave run- yeah.
We
That's
couldn't
why, yeah.
have
Wave
picked
racing.
that, right?
No.
Yes, you
Okay,
could've.
thank.
I would
don't-
have picked it.
No.
Yes, you're my brother. You pick whatever you want, bro.
Because that game was like I don't think I did a single objective on that game.
No, you're
I
just
think
doing
I
flips and
just
shit.
drove and just
Yeah.
did flips. Do a
Just
barrel roll.
back-
Yeah, do a barrel roll. Yeah.
What about Star Fox? Is that a sports game?
Okay, now
Ooh.
we're about to get
All
we're
right.
about to go down the list here.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions. I got I got a boxing game, so I Fight Night Round 3.
No,
Yep.
that's good.
Fantastic game. Mario Golf was left off the list. There's a game I wouldn't have picked it because I don't think you guys have known, but just back in the day I had a Dreamcast
Yeah.
and there's a game called Sega Soccer Slam. And it
Okay.
was a soccer game on Dreamcast, but it was kind of like Blitz, where you can like punch people in the face. And it was like these guys. There's a bunch of different teams you could choose from. There's one that was like luchadors and big wrestlers in mask, and it's like you could just jump up, do a backflip, and kick the ball in
I
the
think I
goal.
remember that one.
Sega
Yeah.
Soccer Slam, dude. You got any honorable mentions?
I got NBA 2K5, Dave Mirra BMX,
Dave
PG
Mirra. Let's go.
yeah, PGA 2K21. I know it's a little newer, but it's still a badass game. And
Right.
then I really wanted to throw this in there, but I couldn't because everything's just so much batter asser, I guess. NCAA batter asser.
I think
NCAA,
we got the name of our episode.
Batter
Batter
asser. No, he
asser.
can't have
Asser.
3 in a row.
You can't we gotta draw the line somewhere.
don't fix what ain't broke. And then the last one's in NCAA 06.
Yep.
Nice.
So like the ones NBA Street was definitely taken from me. ESPN 2K5 was on my list. Colby got that one. Tony Hawk Pro Skater was taken from me. I just recently bought Tony Hawk's Underground and beat it
That's a good one too.
for the original
yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Where it's like a story. It's like a story mode.
I miss
And-
those.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I had a couple WWF No Mercy for the 64.
Dude, yeah.
WWE SmackDown versus Raw, the first one that came out. Where because I don't
Brock Lesnar.
I used to be I still kind of watch wrestling, but like I used to be a crazy wrestling fan. And when you did the story mode, it was just subtitles you had to read. But in SmackDown versus Raw, they inputted the actual voices of the wrestlers, so it was more cinematic. Anywho, but yeah, absolutely, man. That was fantastic. That was so much fun. Can't wait to put that one out. So you guys want to go player perspective?
Let's
We
do
do that.
it.
Player perspective for you
favorite
guys
part.
who don't know. We pull up we try to get 3 players, 3 sets of players, 2 each, and we set them side by side. We block out the name and the face and just give you the stats, and you guys tell us which one you would rather have. Let's pull up. Since we're still in football, let me go ahead and do mine.
Yeah, mine's
Get that
baseball.
out. Yeah, get that out the way.
Mine as well.
All right, let me know when you guys can see it.
Yep. What are we looking at?
Okay.
So this is 2
Quarterbacks.
NFL quarterbacks from last season. Give me your initial thoughts.
Left puts up more stats. 241 a game.
I'll take
Almost
right.
100 yards more passing.
So what really
20
jumps off, I mean,
20
and
and 7.
obviously guy on the left played
Completes
Yeah, 2
more.
less games.
2 less games. So that's also something to keep in mind.
Mhm.
But right, higher completion percentage. Left, obviously more yards. Right, a better quarterback rating, which is kind of your overall
This is
number at
last
98.
year?
This is last season, correct?
For some reason, no, never mind. I was gonna say
Anybody
something.
have any initial guesses on either
Current
side?
NFL quarterbacks?
Yes, I mean it's last season. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
my bad. Yeah, I'm dumb.
Justin Fields in here?
No,
No.
not Justin
Hell
Fields.
no.
The rushing
Yeah.
yards would be off the charts.
Yeah, my bad. I totally
you're
didn't
good.
even see that.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
some people. I forget that the rushing yards are even here. To be honest,
Gardner Minshew?
On the left.
no Gardner
Damn,
Minshew.
I was thinking the same thing though.
Mhm.
So we,
3,000.
I will say, we'll get like
I got-
hints. What you got, Cole?
Yeah,
What you
yeah.
got?
Slowly.
I was
hinting out.
gonna say Russell Wilson, but I don't know.
That
maybe
is
he's
correct.
Yeah.
On the right is Russell
the right?
Wilson.
26
Okay.
and 8, dude. 3,000 yards.
So Colby gets it. Colby gets Russell Wilson on the right. On the left, this is a guy, obviously, battled some injuries. Team did not do very well. Didn't make the playoffs. Wasn't really close. Who we got on the left?
Oh, for the record, I would probably take left. Just saying.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
funny as you say that because it'll come out. But
What's
Teddy.
that guy's name?
Teddy, just
20 and
we'll just start
7.
saying first names.
That's a good TD INT ratio. 20 and 7.
Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a. Yep.
On the
Send it.
left is Justin Herbert.
Herbie. Hey, yeah,
See, and
got
y'all
hurt.
really rather have the guy on the left?
I didn't say a damn thing. That was Colby.
Well, think about it. He had 2 less games, right?
Two
Yeah.
less games, and obviously you could look at the yards per
It
game,
kind
which is
of
a
it
big
kind of
stat.
adds up. It kind of adds up, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
But
he had more passing yards with two games less,
yeah.
which is impressive.
And
but
I mean, 6 less with 2 games less too.
I don't know if you
Six less touchdowns,
I don't know if you guys remember
less interceptions.
a handful of episodes ago, we were saying who would you rather have, Brock Purdy or this guy? And when we got to Justin Herbert, Colby was like Herbert. It was like so fast, and it's like
just-
it's
I think
funny
he's-
that he picks him.
I
yeah,
think he's super talented.
Colby's a Herbert guy. But yes,
He is
this
talented.
is free agent quarterback Russell
Russell
Wilson,
Wilson.
or will
Backup
be a free
quarterback.
agent.
Let his ass go.
And
the
then
backup
we
quarterback.
have Justin Herbert on the left. Yeah, I found that one this morning. Thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, Russell Wilson is still solid, man. I still
Like
think wherever he goes-
26-8 with a 98 quarterback
pretty
rating.
solid.
Great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like that's and little breaking news, I guess it dropped today. Steelers and Russell Wilson are talking because
Ooh.
the Broncos gave Russell Wilson clearance to seek his own trade before the calendar year officially starts for the NFL, and they're talking with the Steelers.
Good.
Wilson
Go
Steelers.
Russell.
Check
Get the-
that out.
get the
Go
hell out of-
I
Russell.
like that. I like
Get
that
the hell
more
out of
than
Denver.
Justin Fields to the Steelers.
That hurts my feelings.
Yeah, no offense
no, I
to
don't.
you or Vegas odds.
No, it's fine. All right.
I think
So
Mike Tomlin
That
can
was a
work
fun
with
one.
it a little bit better. That was
okay,
good.
so we're just to get the viewers on our timeline. We will, I guess, be transitioning to baseball with a little break with some UFC and golf in between. But let's go to these player perspectives that we got in the baseball realm.
Let's go.
Let's pull up Chan Man's. Boom. Let me know when you guys can see.
What are these?
Forgot what I did. No, it's
Batting average.
it's third baseman, which is our rankings today,
Yep.
right? So the third baseman, this is last season. And I picked these guys because they have the exact same WAR. And for those listeners that may not be avid baseball fans, WAR is wins above replacement.
30 home runs.
And that is like how many more wins that player is worth than somebody else that plays that position. So they're the same. They're the same. One's a big name, one's a small name.
Is the left Alex Bregman?
It is
No,
not.
Bregman had less than 30.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah. I should know left.
I want to say, is Devers on the left?
No.
Mm-mm.
Devers hit more than 30, didn't he? He had like 35.
Who is it? Dude, I don't know why I'm
It's
blanking
not
out
Austin
right now.
Riley.
Did Juan Soto
Third baseman.
on the
third
left?
baseman?
On the left? Or I mean, sorry, Manny Machado. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Manny Machado on the
wow.
left.
On the
Colby's
left, yeah.
getting both of them. I hate this game.
He's crushing it.
Yeah.
All right, so Manny Machado's on the left.
Yep.
Okay. Right third baseman.
I don't know why I
22
get Manny
homers.
Machado and Juan Soto mixed up. And then the right, you got
Man.
22.
It's not,
22 home
it's not
runs.
Gunnar Henderson, is it?
Nope.
No, he had like 28.
22.
258
Man, hold
batting
on.
average.
Hold on here.
I know who
scoping.
22. I know who that is.
Colby's scoping.
Who is that?
Let me find out. Colby has a list pulled up.
No, I can't think of his name.
Man.
I've
Y'all want a
seen
hint?
these stats. We've all seen these stats.
Yeah, we have. He was on the Cubs last year. He's on the Reds this year.
On the Reds? Steer?
Oh, is that
Not
what's
Steer.
I can't say his last name. Starts with a C.
Yeah.
Junior or not? What's his name?
Jaime.
Candelario?
Candelario.
Yeah.
That's who it is. When you
Yep.
said Cubs to Reds, I'm like, I got him.
Yep.
Oh, check that out. The on-base percentage, slugging, OPS.
So
Wow.
I'll dive into this deeper, but Manny's going for $19 right now in salary leagues. Jaime is going for less than $1.
Check that out. On a
And that was
team
their-
that has a lot
that
of
was their-
fluidity to it.
Yep, that was their last
Wow.
last season. So obviously Padres more at bats, more opportunity, better lineup, better chances, more home runs, more RBIs. But everything at the bottom there, that on base and slugging and OPS really kind of caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. What a good one.
I picked him up a few times, and he did pretty well.
Not a bad player.
They all know.
I'm excited for
Good
Colby's
one, Chan.
because I saw
Thanks,
us.
man.
I looked at Colby's for a second when I'm putting these together, and I'm like, no clue, no idea whatsoever.
That's awesome.
So let's
You guys know him for sure.
okay. Let me know when you can see. So Colby, tell me what we got here.
Pitchers,
Yep, 2 starting pitchers.
155.
Like,
Why do you
if
give
you-
us these high ERAs,
Yeah,
man? These
if
are
you got
guys
a
we
5
aren't looking
ERA,
at.
I love it
try to
because-
We're
forget
not
you.
looking at them.
But these guys are guys you will pick up off the waiver. I'm
If
telling
you got a
Yeah.
5 ERA, I try to forget you.
yeah,
But a
but they're both
26.8%
studs, though.
strikeout.
They're both studs. Okay.
they're both pretty damn good.
Is one Hunter Green?
No,
Damn it. God, who's that?
178 over 150. So somebody strikes a lot out.
That's what made me think
Somebody-
Hunter
Mhm.
Green, and I know he
somebody
had a
doesn't.
challenging year.
Last year.
man, I would say something right now, but I think it'd give it away.
Don't give it away if you
Yeah.
can like lead us to it. So he played a lot of games. He had 11 wins and 13 losses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
He had 5 games more than the other guy.
26.8. Okay. And they're studs, you say?
I mean, yes, and
They're
one was
professional
playing-
baseball
yeah,
pitchers.
they just hit a
Man.
spark.
Fuck, man.
Is one of them play for the Reds?
Yes.
Okay. See?
Graham
See?
Ashcraft on the left.
Yes.
Okay, Ashcraft's on the left. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I knew when I thought of high ERA guys that had a spark, I was thinking of Ashcraft.
Yeah, I thought that'd give it away.
Okay. Me and Chandler both met in the middle there. We got there.
Man, I have no idea.
I'm trying to
'cause
think of who gets some
178
Ks,
over
man.
155 is pretty freaking impressive.
Say that again.
178 strikeouts over 155 innings is quite impressive.
Yeah, he's got some stuff for sure.
Got some stuff. That makes me think
Colby
of
Gardner.
Yeah,
is it
he's on a really good team.
Is it Grayson Allen or was it Grayson Rodriguez?
No,
It's on a really good
he's
I
on a
said
really
Co-
good team.
That's what I was thinking. Orioles, Grayson. Fudge. On a
with a
really good team.
5.0 ERA.
Yep.
Hmm.
I'm at a loss, man.
What good
Mhm.
team is he on? Let's try to really get there.
Astros.
Oh.
JP France always comes to mind, but it's not him.
Mm-hmm. JP
Um,
had a better record.
Yeah,
He
but
didn't
what's
strike
the
out
other,
as much either.
What's the other rookie? I mean, that's the answer. It's not Hunter Brown.
It is Hunter Brown.
No way, it's
Hunter
Hunter Brown.
Brown.
He ended with a 5 ERA.
Yeah.
That's
5.09.
wild.
Hunter Brown versus Ashcraft.
Who would you rather take? That's what I probably should have asked you guys.
I mean, with the strikeout numbers in fantasy, you want to
Yeah,
go
in fantasy,
Hunter
you have
Brown.
to go right.
Mm-hmm.
0.3
Wow.
in ERA when you're already over 4.5 isn't like,
Yep.
anything to worry about.
But yeah, my stud on the left, Graham Haster, I had to throw him in there.
Yeah.
Trying to
Dude,
find
and
somebody who
I'm
was kinda the
never
same.
going to forget. I'm in a hotel in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and we're talking about the playoffs right when the playoffs are starting in our fantasy league. And I literally saw Colby with Ashcraft, and I literally went down and I did a mathematical equation of what he was doing before Colby picked him up and what he did after. And Colby picked him up, and Ashcraft turns into prime Nolan Ryan just
Yeah.
out of nowhere. And
I think for
I'm
like
on the
2
phone with
months-
Colby,
yeah,
and I'm like,
okay.
what makes you sign that guy? Like, he had like a 7 ERA. What made you sign him?
Yeah, and it was like 2 months where he was like a 1.78 ERA.
Dude, he was sorting
That's
guys.
why it's a 4.78. If he hadn't hit that spark, it would probably be in like the 6s or 7s.
Like,
So,
oh my
yeah.
gosh.
He's right place, right time, man. I don't know what to
Colby
say.
has the Midas touch, man.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, he did really good.
All right, so that's our player perspective. Do you guys, Colby, you want to go golf? You want to give some golf stuffs?
Sure.
Stuff.
All right,
Do some-
this
do a
is
little bit of
this
golf.
is where we hang back.
Yep. So guys, Arnold Palmer's going on. This is a stacked field. There's so much talent in this. Like, it's really anybody's game. I know there's metrics. I know there's this and there's that, but this lineup is going to be strictly off of position and how badass they are. Basically proven that like if these guys are in the top, these guys are probably going to end up in the top. They're going to make the cut based off the position because this will be cut. I think half the field. I don't know what the cut line is right now, but these guys are better than what would be the cut line or right at it. And my guess, if they're right at it, they're not going to not make the cut. This is just what I'm going off of field today. So what we have is the guy, Jordan Spieth. He is
I know
playing
him.
Yes, he's
Yep.
playing super good lately. He has made 5 out of 5 of the last 5 cuts. I believe it was where was it? Genesis that he finished in 70th. Yeah, so the last tournament that he had, he was disqualified because he
Oh yeah,
wrote the
I was
wrong.
put that in the group chat.
Yeah,
I
he
had
wrote
no
the.
idea what was going on, but
Mhm.
ironically, my wife, she gets ESPN alerts. And
Yeah,
she's like, who? And of course, she butchers the name because who can say that name without knowing? Like, he goes,
yeah,
who's this guy? And he got disqualified from, and I was like, wait, what? And so
yeah.
I immediately text Colby. I'm like, what does this mean? Because in my simple mind, it sounds like he was putting in the wrong score, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
And then so Colby had to, I was like, explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old.
Yeah,
But
he wrote down a par. It was a par 3. He wrote down a par instead of a bogey that he made, and
Jordan,
that is a huge no-no.
that's not good.
It's the PGA Tour does not F around with that. If it doesn't matter if it
Wow.
was a mistake or not, you are DQ'd. And the crazy part about it is that he was actually playing super well. I think he was like top 15, top 10, somewhere around there when it happened. So it is very unfortunate. But had he not, I really think that he would have just played out of his asshole. He's doing super good lately. Um, so
How do
his
you
last
not name episodes off of this guy? Like,
Hey, I don't do it on purpose, man. I
Played
just
out of his
go. I just play
asshole.
the.
I'm
Let's
over here
go.
trying to think, does that mean he's going to be really
I gotta
good
stop
or
doing that.
really bad?
I was thinking that I write, birdies for bogeys all the time on my scorecard.
Yeah.
Like and
Oh man, so funny. But anyways, so his last 5, he's placed 6th, 3rd, 39th, 6th, and then 70th at the Genesis where he got disqualified. Pretty sure he'd have been top 10. Either way, summary of that guy, he's playing really good. I think he's sitting at -3 right now. I'm going all in on Jordan. He's going for 9,300. So we're gonna
Worth.
rock with Jordan on that. Will Zalatoris, he's going for 9K. He's a guy who kind of fell off the bandwagon. He had played really, really bad. And Will Zalatoris was one of those guys that everybody looked at and said, like, that is probably going to be the next generation of players. Zalatoris has the talent to be one of the best. He can be up there with Scotty Scheffler if he gets his stuff together. I'm going off of what he's been doing lately. He finished 2nd at the Genesis Invitational, the one that Jordan Spieth got DQ'd from. He shot a 14 under there, and the last 5, he shot 8 under, 18 under, and then, like I said, he wasn't doing good for a little bit, but as of recent, he's shooting very well. He's at under 3, a 3 under, so we're gonna ride hot hand with Will Zalatoris. He's literally a flame, and we're gonna sit around that campfire and just sing Kumbaya. We got
Dude's fantastic.
we got Min Woo Lee. He's one of my favorite golfers. This is actually kind of a biased pick. Not really a biased pick, but is kind of a biased pick. He's Australian. He's going for 7,500. I think he was playing on the DP World Tour for a little bit. I think he got off the PGA circuit for a little bit. But he is also shooting very well. He shot 14 under at the Cognizant Classic, which was a kind of a tough course, and he did really well coming off DP Tour. He is one of those guys that if he's sitting at -3, man, stick with him because he has such good talent. He's kind of like Zalatoris. I think he's a little bit more consistent than Zalatoris, but Minwoo Lee, not only because he has a badass name, but he's got a badass game. He's
What?
arguably
Dude's just on fire, man.
he has all
He's-
these written down.
Like,
No,
there's
dude, I
no
don't got shit.
way. Dude's a walking Hallmark card, man.
podcast. No, Minwoo Lee, Minwoo Woo. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do it to it, and he's going for 7,600s. He's sitting at 3 under, and he's so talented. I'm rocking with that guy. So he's gonna do it to it. Another guy I really like is Max Homa. I think he's probably one of the funniest guys on the tour, and that's why I'm picking him. No, I'm just kidding. He's sitting at -1, and as of late, he's been playing very, very good. Let's see, he's got 22 under, 8 under, 2 under even, and 7 under at the Genesis Invitational. He's one of those guys. Like I said, it's all these guys are riding hot. These are flame guys that I'm picking. These guys are. I'm surprised that these guys are sitting at this spot. Not only because they're badasses, but just the position that they're all in and the names that are in these spots it's like a fat kid on cake, man. Like how do you pick these things? And a lot of these things have to be Phil. And Max Homa is one of those guys that I really think that is going to do good from here on out. On the second day, he's shooting 3 under. His drive is great. His iron play is great. I watch this guy on YouTube. He is good golf, and Bob Does Sports. He's a regular on there, and I keep up to date with him. And he's just, even when he's messing around, the dude's just on fire. So Max Homa, I'm gonna go with him. He's sitting at 8,600. It's more than affordable, man. Awesome. And then we got Mr. Waggle, Brian Harmon. You know about Brian Harmon. I've
Every
said his
week.
name.
Yeah.
I've said his name. He's sitting at 7,300. I think that's insane.
I think
I don't know
last
why
week
they
Mr. Wagglesworth.
Mr. Waggle,
Wagglesworth.
man, the Waggle, the Waggle. He's sitting at -3 as well. A lot of these guys are sitting at 3 under. 4 out of the 6 are. He's shooting well. Doesn't ever shoot bad. There's not a over in the last 5. He's got 25 under, 11 under, 4 under, 3 under, and he shot even at Genesis, but he doesn't have any over, no nothing. So this guy's he's good. He's a guy that doesn't die, man. You kick him, beat him up, dude. He's just gonna keep swinging. So we're gonna go Brian Harmon, especially when he's sitting at 3 under, and he's going for 7,300. Give me all of Brian Harmon. And then the last one I got is Sahit Thagala. Brandon knows a lot about that guy. He's fire, man. Like out of nowhere, he's just, you know what I'm saying? I know, phew means, but he's sitting at 4 under. He's tied for 4th, and he's also doing very well as of late. You got 1 under, even 9 under, 17 under, 2 under. There's no over there. He's shooting under par in the last 5 tournaments. So you want to ride with guys like that. He doesn't have a hiccup in any of his last 5s. So Sahit Thagala is one guy I'm looking at. He's sitting at 4 under. He's the highest out of this list, and I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to stay there. If not get better, he'll be in the top 5 at the end of the tournament. So we're going to go with that list. We got Jordan Spieth at 9,300. We got Will Zalatoris at 9,000, which it's almost a little too expensive. But anyways, Min Woo Woo Lee at 7,600.
Badass name in a badass game.
Yeah, badass name, badass game. Max Homa at 8,600. Brian Harmon at 7,300. Holy shit. And Sahit Thagala at 8,000. That expends your whole entire salary cap. This is for the second day. This is for how good they do that particular day. It's not for the entire tournament, but those guys are going to shoot hot, and I have full faith in this lineup to do well, to put you in the money, especially in a double up.
Let's go.
Ride with it, guys.
It's the gift that keeps on giving every single week. The golf segment is my favorite. You know me, I'm gonna put 5 on it because that's what I do. I ride for my brother. But oh my God, Colby was just dropping one-liner after one-liner, and me and Chandler were just trying to keep it together so you could get through it. But I know it's through Zoom, but me and Chandler locked eyes like we gotta just chill right now.
I had so much to say.
Yeah, that was fun.
All right. Fantastic golf. What do you know what time this is day 2 tomorrow?
Early
or Saturday?
I think it's early 6:45 a.m.
What's up with these golf tournaments? How do people even watch this?
I think our time is 7:45.
Okay.
But I would try and if you want to do it, I would put it in the night.
Yep.
or wake up like I do with the kids at 3 o'clock in the morning because they're crying, they need milk or whatever, and just put in the lineup. That's what usually when I do it.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the group chat, Colby's like, yeah, I did. I crafted up this line about 4 in the morning. I'm like, what the hell?
Why are you up at 4, Colby?
Like, for what? Why are you up at 4? And why are you crafting DraftKings lineups at 4 in the morning?
Waiting for his kid to go to sleep, man.
That's what we do.
All right, let's
Everything
transition.
happens at 4 a.m.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Nothing good. Let's transition to UFC. Got a bit to say here, trying to make sure it doesn't run too long, but
Barn burner this weekend, huh?
oh my goodness, is it ever? This weekend, this Saturday, UFC 299, Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera 2 for the 135-pound belt. There are so many fighters on this card, I can't even really begin to fully comprehend. But I mean, if you just work your way up from the bottom, your third fight on the card is Robelis. I'm not going to try to say the last name. I think it's Despagne. This dude, I want to give y'all a little quiz, okay? This guy's 4-0. He only has 4 fights. He's 4 for 4, right? His last 3 fights, can you guys guess the total combined duration of those last 3 fights?
57 seconds.
I wish that would be very long compared to this guy.
17
Jeez.
seconds.
Colby, you're close. 19 seconds
Jeez.
of fight time for this guy.
3 bouts.
4-second knockout his last fight. 3-second knockout the fight before that. 12-second knockout the fight before that. And his first debut fight, if he finished it in the end of the first round. But holy shit, that's your third fight of the evening on the prelims. So this one's going to last about 9 seconds. So if you want to see some big dudes punch each other till they wake up in the hospital, this would be the one to watch. Then you got some fun fights on the way up. You got Kuntilava versus Felipe Lins. You got Michael Olenjachuk versus Michel Pereira. Kyler Phillips, Pedro Munoz. Gamrot versus Rafael Dos Anjos.
What?
You got Caitlin Chukagian, Macy Barber, Curtis Blades, Jalton Almeida, Peter Yan, Song Yadong, Gilbert Burns, Jack Della Maddalena. The debut of Michael Venom Page against Kevin Holland. Dustin Poirier, Benoit St. Denis, and then the main event, Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Chito Vera.
Jesus.
Now, because there is so much talent in these fights, I'm gonna just be completely transparent with you guys. There's not a lot of bets that I love because I could ride for one guy, but I can easily see it going the other way, right? So some of the bets, I always give you 5 bets. I'm on a 3 for 5 streak these past couple of cards where I hit my first 3, then drop the last 2. But fights that I love. Going from the bottom, we talked about this guy right here. This fight's going under a round and a half. That's my first leg of the parlay. And if you don't want to put it in a parlay, this is a bet I love. It goes under 1.5 rounds. I'm taking that one, okay? That's sitting at -310, which is a lot for a single bet. But when you're adding it to a parlay, obviously you get more value there. Then I'm going to move up to Jalton Almeida, Curtis Blades. I'm taking Jalton Almeida. I'm taking the guy on a streak right now, right? He's 20-2. Curtis Blades, again, some of these bets scare the shit out of me, but 20-2. He's coming off of a domination grappling performance in his last main event win over Derek Lewis. I'm taking him over Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades has a tendency to go on a streak and then drop a fight that he should probably win. So I'm taking Jalton Almeida. He is sitting at -115, so it's almost a pick'em fight. So give me Jalton Almeida. And then I'm going to go Peter Yan, Song Yadong. Peter Yan is -125, almost a pick'em. I'm taking Peter Yan over Song Yadong. Look, Peter Yan is one bad loss away from being the best bantamweight in the sport. He lost to Sean O'Malley, which was a questionable loss. So the champion fighting on this card, he lost to Sean O'Malley, Peter Yan did, but a lot of people thought Yan won that fight. And then before that, the last former champion of the division, Aljamain Sterling, Yan had another questionable loss to Sterling where a lot of people thought that he won. And then before that, he was champion. So you got a guy that is, his last fight was tough. He fought Merab Dvalishvili, who's a matchup nightmare. So anybody who fights Dvalishvili is gonna look bad. Peter Yan looked bad in his last fight, but to go against this young guy who doesn't have the most incredible resume, I think Yan bounces back. He's lost 3 in a row. I think he bounces back and beats Song Yadong. Looks really good doing it. I think we could even get a potential finish from Yan here in this fight. But give me Yan at minus 125. And then I'm going, and I hate announcing it like this because it always makes me look even worse whenever it goes wrong. But my underdog pick of the day is Dustin Poirier over Benoit Saint Denis. Poirier sitting at plus 175. Do y'all forget who Dustin Poirier is? I understand Benoit Saint Denis. He's a finisher. He's young, 13-1. He's on the streak. But these up-and-coming fighters, they're hitting roadblocks whenever they're fighting these veteran guys. You saw it, the main event of the last card with Jairzinho Rosenstruck, where he wasn't supposed to win. He was supposed to lose to the young guy, and then, young guy ends up losing. I'm thinking in a 5-round co-main event, give me the veteran savvy, great boxer. Give me Dustin Poirier at plus 175. I'm eating that up. I don't think you can find a better underdog. I do like a lot of underdogs on this card, but Dustin Poirier, there's no way. If a belt's not on the line, not a lot of people are beating Dustin Poirier. So give me Dustin Poirier over Benoit Saint Denis at a plus 175 underdog. And then keep it short and simple. I'm taking Sean O'Malley to defend his belt and beat Chito Vera. He's sitting at minus 275. So if you were to parlay the bets that I just gave you, the under 1.5 on the Robelis fight, if you go Peter Yan minus 125, Jalton Almeida minus 115, Sean O'Malley minus 275, Dustin Poirier plus 175, you're sitting at plus 1569 for that parlay, which is, I understand that's kind of crazy, but I always put it in increments of $50 because that's a reasonable bet. I don't do 100 because I'm not crazy. But if you put 50 on it, that will win you $784. Kind of breaking down the main event, Sean O'Malley, Chito Vera. I think with this fight, I think it's a matchup that's actually tailored to O'Malley. I think if O'Malley's going to lose, it's going to be with someone. It's going to be Dvalishvili, the guy nobody wants to fight at 135 pounds. That's what's next after this fight. O'Malley's going to lose to someone who's really going to implement a grappling game. But if you're just going to stand out, if you're just going to stand on your feet and kickbox with O'Malley, you're just not going to win. He's super lengthy and he hits like a Mack truck at 135 pounds. And Chito Vera is naturally a slow starter. He'll take the first 2 rounds off and then try to come on later. I see O'Malley winning majority of the rounds and taking a decision. Would not be surprised if O'Malley catches him and clips him and puts him out, but Vera's never been finished in his career. So he's a very durable guy. But yeah, I'm taking O'Malley outright. But there's a lot of underdogs that I love on this card. Dustin Poirier, great underdog. Michael Venom Page is an underdog. Gilbert Burns is an underdog. What is it? Felipe Lins is an underdog. And he's on a 3-fight win streak at 205 pounds since dropping to 205 pounds from heavyweight. And then Olajaychuk over Pereira. I like more underdogs than favorites, and that scares the shit out of me. So I'm only going to touch only a couple of them. You know me, I bet on every single fight. I just like to give a little parlay just for funsies. And I
I'm
do
surprised
take
you didn't touch MVP.
look. If MVP was fighting anybody else, I would love to talk about it. I'm super excited from as a fan standpoint to watch him fight, but he's fighting a mirror of himself. He's fighting both these guys are 6'3". Kevin Holland has which is massive for 170 pounds as far as height goes.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin Holland has a reach advantage. What I do like is Kevin Holland's going to come in here and he's actually going to kickbox with Michael Venom-Page, which is what we all want to see. He's not going to try to grapple or anything, but you know, that's a tough fight. And Michael Venom-Page, he is, you know, a little later in his career. I think he's 36. Yep, 36, almost 37. But but he's an underdog, and I like him as an underdog. I'm not putting him in the parlay because Dustin Poirier is so juicy, and I try to put only a couple underdogs. But I'm telling you, I do. If I were to make kind of like an overall prediction of the card, I see a lot of underdogs winning, and I see not a lot of finishes, but a lot of back and forth fights going to the decision.
Gonna be a good
Like
card.
that. Yeah, I think I don't see there's going to be a lot of knockouts. If I were to guess, maybe 4 or 5, but the rest of them, I see a lot of competitive, even decisions, a lot of conversations to be had on the Reddit forums after some of these decisions. Because if you're like me, I go to de-stress after a fight didn't go my way. I go straight to Reddit and I go straight to arguing with people and talking with people. Because there's been some decisions that I haven't been a fan of. But that is my UFC breakdown. It's gonna be some crazy stuff this Saturday. I'm telling you.
Fights going the distance always feels better when it's pay-per-view too. You know,
I feel like you get your money.
You hate paying for it and everything's just like, oh, first round.
I will
You know?
say, if I were to toot my own horn, the last time Sean O'Malley fought, he was a plus 200 underdog to Aljamain Sterling, and I hammered that with an undisclosed amount of money that I'm not willing to say out loud. But
$51.
my wife was this close. She was like, "This better work," because we're about to have a conversation, and he ended up knocking out Sterling in the second round, and I just felt like it was coming. So that was one of my more impressive decisions as of late. But it should be a good one. I think O'Malley retains, and the real fight will be the next one against Merab Dvalishvili, which he's a matchup nightmare, and that's the real fight that, you know, I don't know who wins that one. But I think O'Malley, I think it'll be, I'm not saying it'll be easy, no fight's easy, but I think I see him getting a clean decision. Wouldn't be surprised if he flips Cheeto and puts him out just because he has that power. But yeah, that's my UFC breakdown. A little longer than usual because it is just there's so much to talk about on that card. But
Watching
right.
Sean O'Malley come up, man, that was kind of cool watching.
It was
dude,
cool.
I watched him in LFA, which is like a Texas-based, like still professional fight league, but you know, a smaller league. And back when he had no tattoos, he just had a Jufro and was just, you know, was just that guy. And just holy shit for him to be where he's at now.
And whenever, like, you know, he was hanging out in like the top 11, you know, 11 or whatever, people, like, he was just doing these spectacular knockouts, just piecing people up, right? And then people were starting to say, oh, well, you know, put him in the top 5 and, you know, he ain't gonna do shit. And look, the dude won the championship.
Yeah, like you're absolutely, you're right. That was the consensus. He hasn't fought anybody yet because the UFC realized he's probably the biggest star in the UFC right now. Like if we're talking Conor McGregor's out of it, he's on a boat doing cocaine somewhere. But like if we're talking about superstars, then it's Sean O'Malley. He's the guy. He's got all the endorsement deals. He's in the commercials. He's everywhere. So they realized they had something. So they're very careful, and they weren't going to stunt his growth. Have him, you know, climb up the rankings. And it is worth noting that, you know, Chito Vera and O'Malley fought last time, but it was essentially an injury that stopped the fight. So Chito beat O'Malley. That's it. O'Malley's only loss, but it's because his his foot was.
I thought they fought twice for some reason.
Yeah, they fought once, and then this would be the rematch. But Cheeto was hammering leg kicks, and it tore like a nerve in O'Malley that made his foot go like he couldn't step on his foot. So when he tried to step on his foot, he would just fall over because that nerve was he
Dude,
kicked that
that's
nerve.
so hard watching sometimes. Like when
Yeah.
a nerve goes out in somebody's thigh, like where their
Yes.
knees at, and they just can't walk.
Yeah, so then
Yeah.
Cheeto then got on top and then finished with elbows, but essentially was the foot going out. So there's an asterisk besides that win. It's a win nonetheless, but O'Malley, he went on a press run and was like, I'm undefeated. I've never lost, because that's a bullshit win. And whatever you think about that is what you think about that. But it's gonna be fun. They got some animosity, so there's a little bit of a background to it. But it's gonna be a good fight. But yeah, that the fight the Dustin Poirier as a plus 175 underdog to an
Hammer.
up and coming guy is. So I could be wrong.
Bonkers.
I could be wrong, and the dude steamrolls Poirier. If so, that's really sad, and that's gonna make me tear up.
I
But
put 20 on it. Shoot.
a plus 175 Dustin Poirier to a guy that is 13-1, hasn't fought anybody like super ranked. What? I don't know. But anywho, let's transition to, we're gonna get definitely into baseball, and I wanted to do what I've been seeing the trend is on the internet, and that's blind rankings. And I want to give you guys some names, and y'all try to come up with the best list as possible. I'm going to say this is MLB first baseman, okay? And I'm going to give you a name. You don't know who's coming next, and y'all have to talk amongst yourselves if you should put them 1, 2, 3, or 5. Again, you don't know which names I'm going to say, and we'll see what your list looks like at the end. But this is MLB first baseman. So I'm going to give you the first name, and then you guys just tell me where you're going to put him, okay? So number 1 is Paul Goldschmidt. Where's he going?
4.
You say 4?
What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 or 4, so I'm good with 4.
Okay, so we're going 4 Goldschmidt. Okay. Next name, Christian Walker.
2
It
or
would
3
be
for
like
me.
3.
All right, we're gonna
Yeah,
go
it is.
3
Yeah.
Walker. All right. Next name, Yandy Diaz.
5.
Yandy?
Yandy? You go 5 Yandy?
Wait,
Is that...
who was 4 again? I already forgot.
We got Walker at 3, Goldschmidt at 4, and you got
Goldschmidt.
Yandy Diaz.
Oof. Yeah, I think Yandy's got to go. Yandy's got to go 5.
Okay.
What you think, Colby?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So 1 and 2 is open. Okay.
Oh shoot, you're gonna throw some curveballs here.
All these names are predetermined, so it's not like I'm pulling some bullshit. I already have these names written down.
This one's Bryce Harper.
Bobby
Number
Boucher.
4 is Spencer Steer.
2.
Gotta go Steer,
Yeah,
right?
it's sad, but it's got to go 2.
Yeah.
All right. And then I hope you guys aren't too mad at me, but
I
I
knew
think,
it.
I think this is funny. But number 1 has to be Josh Naylor.
Well, I mean,
that is funny.
from a batting statistic, from
that
a
is
batting
funny.
standpoint, that's not bad.
From what they did last year, put Steer at 1, and you got yourself a list.
I mean,
Yep.
but that's the thing. You get to like determine.
Yandy was up there though.
Yeah.
Yandy.
So your list would be Josh Naylor, Spencer Steer, Christian Walker, Paul Goldschmidt, Yonder Diaz.
So who would be 1 though out of those 5, Chandler?
I'm gonna
Like,
have
if
to
you
put
could
Christian
redo-
Walker. I'm gonna have
Christian
I'm
Walker?
gonna have to put
Yeah.
Christian Walker at 1.
He
I
just
would probably
plays
have
all
to.
the time, and he
Yeah.
just smacks him out the park.
I could go Walker, and especially if we're going off of last year's stats, it'll be Walker, Steer. Who was there's
Yandy,
Naylor.
Goldschmidt.
Yeah, so it'd be
and Naylor.
Yandy, Naylor, Goldschmidt. So Goldschmidt would actually be 5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you
Which
go.
is
There's
crazy.
there's the blind rankings. All right, you guys ready to get to our rankings?
The next time you do that, I'm just everybody you say first, I'm gonna put first because the bad ones are coming. And I'm not saying they're bad, but you'd rather put them in like the middle of the pack or so.
Yeah. But I mean, you never know. Like I could
Yeah.
start with the bad ones and then end with the good ones. You never know.
Yeah.
But like that's just that's how the cookie crumbled on that one. But
I do
Not a
like
bad
cookies.
list.
all right, so let's go into Third baseman, for those who are keeping track of the trends that we're doing, we are breaking down a position every single week heading into our big salary cap fantasy baseball draft. And that is coming up in 2 weeks.
Things are happening quick, right? We got third baseman today. We got outfielders next week.
Then
and
the
then
mock.
then we have our mock draft that I don't know if we're gonna do it live or just do it in general.
But that'll be fun.
But that's it. That's all we got left. It's so wrap them up, save them, send them,
And
what have
then
you.
the rankings don't matter.
Yep.
Nope.
After your team's drafted, it don't matter, man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's who's actually gonna be on the field. But
And I'm
I'll
excited
kick-
for that. I'm excited for week 1 and we get to talk about adjustments. But
yeah, and then week by week, who's like trending, who's falling,
Yep.
that type of thing. It's gonna be fun stuff. I'll kick it off with my third baseman list. I love my list because there's not really a whole lot of thought that goes into them. I give you my 5, and it's kind of who are just more attractive names. It could be, I feel like they're gonna have a big season this year, and some of the guys above them are getting older, that type of thing. Just guys that I personally am keeping an eye on more than the rest. And then I have 2 honorable mentions that you can get outside of the top 5. But my number 1 third baseman, I'm curious to see who y'all put at number 1, but I got Jose Ramirez. Look, he hits with similar power to the other guys, but he's going to steal 25 plus bags. And that's the ultimate deciding factor for me. I don't think you can go wrong in the top 5, but his base stealing ability is just what puts him over the top for me. And he's going to hit a high percentage. I love it. Number 2 is Austin Riley. He on a fantastic team. I had him last year on my team personally, and he killed it for me. Extra base hit galore, smacks homers. Oh my gosh, that Braves lineup with Olsen, Ozzie, Riley, Acuna. And I don't know if y'all been paying attention to spring training, but now Michael Harris is a leadoff home run king. He's hit like 2 straight, but
he won't stay there. He won't
that
stay there.
team is unbelievable. Number 3, this is going to be, again, there's no rhyme or reason, just going off of basic what I'm feeling. I got Royce Lewis at 3. I think he's going to blow up this year. Dude hit 4 home runs in 2 series last year in the playoffs, really ended the season. That last series against Houston was, I mean, nothing to really write home about. I think he hit 180 and struck out like 17, 16 times or some stuff like that. But he showed big power when it mattered most. Injuries is always a concern. If he can stay relatively healthy and hit 500 plus or get to 500 plus at bats, I think we're looking at a guy that's going to be he's going to steal high teens, low 20s stolen bases, and he's going to hit near 30 homers on a good Minnesota Twins team. Give me Royce Lewis at 3. 4, I got Rafael Devers. He's really one of the only bright spots on the Red Sox. And I really see him not having a big dip from last year. I think obviously regression is going to happen, but I think he stays in the 30 home runs, stays hitting a great batting average, driving in, being basically the guy driving in runs for Boston. And then number 5, I got Alex Bregman. He's been really struggling in spring. I don't think he's hitting above 1 right now, but that's going to happen. I just think, again, regression is natural. Father Time's undefeated. And I see him taking a little bit of a step back, but I still have him in my top 5 of third baseman. And players to watch out for outside of the top 5. You're going to see me really big up Pittsburgh Pirate players, but I got Key Bryant Hayes. He gets better every single year. Last year, he had less at-bats than the year prior and hit more home runs, more RBIs. He's developing a little bit of a pop in his bat. And if he can get near 20 home runs, he's maybe not a guy that's going to kill you with home runs, but doubles. I think there's a lot of fluidity in that Pittsburgh Pirates offense. Their starting rotation and their bullpen, I don't want to talk about, but the bats for Pittsburgh is something that needs to be highlighted. I think they're going to be really good. O'Neal Cruz, Brian Reynolds, you got Key Bryant Hayes, their number one pick, Henry Davis, has been killing it in spring. You got a squad there, and I think Key Bryant Hayes is going to continue to get better, and I think he's going to have a big year. And my other player to watch out for, he's hurt right now, but I got Josh Young for the Texas Rangers, was solely in Rookie of the Year conversation before he got hurt and sat basically the last quarter of the season. He hits a surprisingly good average. He'll be in the 270 ballpark, and he's hit 20 plus. Great fielder at third base. Not a lot of errors coming out of him, but I got Josh Young as a guy to look out for. He's hurt right now, so he actually might slide in your Serpentine draft, or slide in the salary cap and go for a cheaper price. But a guy to grab later on, Josh Young, when he gets healthy. And again, another offense that's going to be really, really good in Texas Rangers. Give me Josh Young. That's my team.
That's a solid list, man. Solid list.
Colby.
Burner. Okay, my top 5 third basemen. Got my top 5 badasses, and then guys I'm looking out for on the back half. You got at number 1, undisputed at third base, Jose Ramirez. He had 611 at bats, 282 average, 24 home runs. He had 837 fantasy points. What makes him deadly is that he can steal bases, and I think he was even on strikeouts and walks. So his plate discipline is insane.
I actually didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, he had 73 strikeouts and 73 walks.
Good God.
So he doesn't strike out.
That plate discipline is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. He's a generational talent in my opinion.
Yep.
And he's just an insane. So yeah, undisputed best third baseman. At number 2, I got Alex Bregman. Batted 622 times, 262 average, 25 home runs, and 98 RBIs, almost 100, too shy. 752 fantasy points, and he had a crappy start to the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was in the ones, not talking about spring training, but when he first started out, I think he was batting like 180 or something like that.
Yeah, 192 was his high for the first 6 weeks.
192, yeah, that's right. And he turned it on, and it looks like he was the second highest scoring third baseman. I think he's the only one I think that I could probably get up to Jose Ramirez, other than the stolen bases, but batting wise, I think he can get up there. He's one of 3 players that walked more than he struck out. I think he struck out like 70 times and walked like 80 times. And yeah, he's my favorite player.
Hey.
So yeah, I'm gonna throw him
bias,
up there
no
too.
bias.
No bias.
Straight
at all,
analytics. Straight analytics.
But he is, and I think Espada might want to throw him in the 3-hole. That might be yet to be seen. But if he gets to put in the 3-hole, then there's going to be more RBIs. He had 98 RBIs. I have him going over 100 RBIs this coming year because it is a contract year. I think he's going to ball out no matter what. I hope he stays with the Astros, but I think he's going to have that in mind that if that doesn't happen, then he's got to play a contract year, make sure people know what they're buying. So I got him at 2. Number 3, I had a lot of switching on this ranking because I just sat there and looked at it, and just more stats came to me, and it's like, okay, I like that guy better. Number 3, I got Gunnar Henderson, 560 at bats, 255 average, 28 home runs, 82 RBIs. This kid's gonna get better. He was the AL Rookie of the Year. He struck out a little bit, but I think as time goes on, he's gonna get better plate discipline, and I think this guy's gonna ball out. He's a top 3 third baseman in my opinion. Number 4, I got Austin Riley, 636 at bats, 281 average, 37 damn home runs. 92 RBIs. He had 706 fantasy points. He struck out 176 times though last year. That kind of scares me, but I do think he's going to get it under control. I think he won't have that next year. I think it'll be way less.
You really look at that Braves lineup and you just wonder, how did y'all not win every game with that lineup? Like
literally every game.
How do you not score 20 runs a game with that offense? Shit.
Yeah, that's a stacked ass team. But yeah, Austin Riley, man, he's got a big bat. Every time he swings, he's not going to steal any bases for you, but that bat makes up for it. And then I think I'm on number 5, right? Yeah, number
Yep.
5, I got Rafael Devers. He batted 580 times, 271 average, 33 home runs. I mean, he's got power. He had over 100 RBIs. I see him doing 100 RBIs again. He is a good bat. So yeah, I think he's going to be at the 5 for me. Rafael Devers got a lot of power in the bat. He's had over 30 home runs 3 out of the 4 seasons. He's only 26 years old, so he's still young.
And
He
he
has
looks like he's 90 years old.
Yeah.
yeah
Like he just looks
yeah.
so old.
So
Out of
he's a young
everybody, he's
cat.
retiring first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just it's
He's a young
crazy.
cat, but dude puts it over the wall and he's got all the power in the world. So
Plays in
yeah,
Boston.
he's my number 5. And then guys I'm looking out for, I don't have stats. These are the names that I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye on. Got 6 of them. I'm just gonna throw them out there. Got Max Muncy. I think they're putting him at third base. They can't designate him, I guess, because of the rules or whatever.
And
But
Shohei.
and Shohei, yeah. So Max Muncy is going to be somebody I watch. Alec Baum, he's going to be somebody I
Yeah,
watch.
like him a lot.
Junior Caminero,
There you go.
Love it.
Heimer Candelario,
Yeah.
Brian Hayes,
Yeah.
and I got Isaac Paredes. He was kind of a guy that I
Okay.
went to whenever I
Yep.
didn't have somebody. He's got a good bat. So yeah, those are 6 guys I'm looking for. If I can't get any of the other ones.
Man, y'all crushed it.
I
Yeah.
really want to invest in a soundboard so that whenever it's Chandler's turn, it's like a plane landing, and that's his runway. It's just
Listen the fuck up. No, no, I thought Colby and you went 1-2, man. I was like, oh, we're gonna have identical lists here, and then you hit me with Gunner at number 3, and I was like, we're not gonna have
Gonna have
identical
the
lists
same
here.
list.
I love it.
Number 1, undisputed. As long as he's playing this well, Jose Ramirez. It's unbelievable what this guy does. It's unbelievable what he's capable of. He is on what could possibly be one of the worst offenses in the MLB, but because he's there, they're not one of the worst offenses in the MLB. Everyday player, switch hitter, hitting third in the order. I mean, there's not much more to talk about. The home runs, the extra base hits, steals, walks, the lack of strikeouts. He'll be here as long as he's playing. Y'all get used to Jose Ramirez at number 1 for third base. Number 2 coming in hot. I've got Alex Bregman. I'm on the exact same train with you, Colby. I think it being a contract year, he's about to ball the hell out. He should also hit third in the lineup, just like you kind of talked about. Primed and ready for more RBIs than last season. Instead of hitting second, he'll hit third. And I know he wants to stay with Houston. I know Houston wants him to stay with us. And I just expect big things for him this year. I think if Jose Ramirez cracks 900, Alex Bregman's cracking 850, right? It's close. Number 3 for me, Austin Riley. I know he had high 30s in the homers last season. Look for him to crack 40 this year. He is that whole Braves offense, it seems, or that whole Braves, offense, defense, same lineup, but they seem to be genuine Iron Men. Like they want to play every single game. They don't want to come out a game and take a rest or anything like that. So look for Austin Riley to go over 600 at bats this year. That threshold is what gets him over those 40 home runs. The dude stays healthy. He's got one of the best gloves defensively. There's no reason to take him out. He's not going to cause you a lot of errors for those little tiny -1 points. And then that discipline, kind of like you're talking about a career year in strikeouts, but he'll hone that in. Just like Matt Olson did 2 years ago, career year in strikeouts, followed by career year in homers. I'm seeing the exact same thing for Austin Riley. Career year strikeouts, career year homers, followed one after another. My number 4 is a guy that had a bit of a nap last year, but he's going to come back with a vengeance this year because he's going to be healthy. He's not going to have to worry about any oblique issues or back issues. Nolan Arenado. He's one of a few bright spots with the Cardinals. We talked about it earlier off air, but I'm not really high on the Cardinals. Who I am high on is Nolan Arenado. That guy, again, 600 plus at bats. They moved a few key pieces in the offense as far as guys that could actually get on base in the latter half of the lineup. So I don't know what his run production looks like, but his RBI production should only uptick from the late year that he had last year. Look for him to come in at a solid number 4 spot. I think that he's a bargain right now at what he's going for, which is load $15. Maybe not a bargain, but right on the money. $15 is a good price for this guy. So don't overlook him. Don't think that last year is actually indicative of who he is. That was an issue. He was injured, and B, he was just off at the plate. It's really difficult to come back from an injury, especially a back or an oblique injury for a hitter, when a lot of that torque is coming from your torso. Number 5, Rafael Devers. I expect him to have another 30 home run, 100 RBI season playing in Boston. He's got that monster in the left field, but not much going on in right field. Left-handed hitter. Again, a guy that's going to be there every single at bat that he has an opportunity for. My issue with him is errors in the field. And then he actually had 12 more strikeouts last season, but he also had 12 more walks. And to me, that tells me that pitchers are trying to pitch around him more often in key situations. That also tells me that he's reaching more often in those key situations. So those walks are not indicative of poor pitching or a better maturity or eye at the plate. It's strictly they're throwing around him, and those strikeouts are not indicative of a worse eye at the plate. It's him just trying to make something happen in those key situations. Keep an eye on him. He always goes for a high price. If you can get him for less than 25, you'll be in good shape, right? Y'all know I like to take a look at a few outside the top 10. Top 10 in this, or number 10, patient 0 in this scenario is Isaac Paredes. I had him on my team last year. Fantastic player. Look for him to build on that. But again, we're not going to spend too much time on him. Number 1 to keep an eye on, Ke'Bryan Hayes. And exactly what Brandon was saying, if you're looking for consistency, if you're looking for improvement year over year, this is the guy. Like, look no further. You're not going to have to spend a lot of money on him. You're not going to have to worry about defensive issues with him. He's not going to randomly get you a -1 in a key game for an error. The dude's just balling out. He's doing great. He hit more triples last year than he had the year before. Same thing with doubles. Same thing with homers. So as long as he keeps progressing on that, he's primed for a fantastic year. Number 2 is Max Muncy, just like Colby hit. I love the fact that this guy might be put into an everyday role. I think that he did wonderfully 2 years ago. He had a little bit of a setback year last year, but the addition of Shohei, he should hit probably not 4 at this point, but maybe 5 or 6 in the lineup. Should have plenty of opportunities for RBIs and at-bats as well. My last one, and this is just because this guy showed glimpses of the best third baseman in all of baseball or fantasy baseball for a few weeks. Now he's on a brand new team, brand new environment. We don't really know what to expect from him. Matt Chapman, right? He was doing well enough. So the reason Brandon got Austin Riley last year is because the person that had Austin Riley also had Matt Chapman. And then Matt Chapman did so well. This guy literally said, screw Austin Riley. I don't need him. Like, it's not necessary for my lineup. That's how I ended up on Brandon's team, right? Matt Chapman lasted a solid 8 weeks from his brilliance, and that was it. I'm really, really curious as to see what this guy actually turns out in San Fran. I'm not high on San Fran's lineup. They have a better platoon than most teams, but he shouldn't be part of that platoon, right? They're going to move Wilmer over to first base and put Chapman over at third. You don't have that convolution anymore. He should be in there every single day. He should get hacks every single day. He'll likely try to do too much and strike out more so than what is actually warranted. But just keep an eye on this guy. I'm pretty sure he's going for next to nothing because nobody thinks that he's can do anything anymore. But keep an eye. Again, he had that brilliance for 6 to 8 weeks in Toronto last year. It's possible it comes back, right? Outside the top 10, well, y'all know I like to do a flop within the top 10 and then a gem without or outside the top 10. So my flop within the top 10, we hit it on the player perspective, and it's not Jaime Candelario. It's Manny Machado. He's my third baseman flop for the year, right? He is projected on ESPN leagues for 88 more points over just 9 more at-bats. That's 9.8 points per game. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. He averaged 4.1 last season, which isn't anything to scoff at, but he is going for $19, right? With the loss of Juan Soto, you obviously have Bogarts shifting over to second. You've got Ha-Seong Kim going over to shortstop. You have a decent lineup in front of this guy. Fernando Tatis should be there for the entire season out in right field, right? So you have a solid 1, 2, 3, 4 in the lineup. But again, the loss of Juan Soto, I don't think it does this guy any favors. I think last season was pretty accurate compared to what he's capable of doing whenever it's not a star-studded lineup. I think if you load the bases every single time for this guy, when he gets up, yeah, he's going to make something special happen. Or when it's completely irrelevant, which is where the majority of his 30 home runs came from last season. Solo shots, not runners in scoring position, not even runners on base, solo shots from this guy. Not worth the $19. Don't get baited into a big name. I think he's decently valued in the $9 to $12 range because he still does have that upside. He could become the Manny Machado that we all know and maybe love. There's a possibility of that. So just don't get baited into the 19s. Definitely don't go into the 20s for this guy. 9 to 12 is a sweet spot for him. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It's the year of Tatis, Bogarts, and Kim. And look for those 3 Padres, right? My Jim, Colby, I'm so glad you hit on this guy. He's been on your team. We've both been believers. Alec Baum. I think that without a doubt, this guy can crack 600 points next season. He's going to get the opportunity. He's now the guy, right? The whole hoopla about him being upset and unhappy in Philly is a year and a half behind us at this point in time. We don't have to worry about him going anywhere. He is the guy. He's only shown increased maturity, increased discipline. He had a career year in RBIs and walks and a career low in strikeouts. I don't know what you ask better of a guy that's coming out of the 6 or the 7 hole. If you're increasing your run production, striking out less, and getting on base more often, I'll pay you, right? It's unreal. I think he settles in nicely. I think the Bryce Harper effect is a big deal. I think that guy is an absolutely astounding leader and individual in the club, in the dugout. When you're injured, you don't have that opportunity to lead as effectively as you would if you were completely healthy in the lineup every single day and actually involved in every individual play, right? Bryce Harper's coming back healthy. He's the first baseman for this guy's third baseman, right? I expect Baum to feed off of everything this Phillies team has to offer, right? To the left of him is Trey Turner, right? The opportunity is there. I expect him to surpass what he did last year, and not by a small margin either. I'm going to try to catch him real quick. 507 last year. And so if I'm accurate and he cracks 600, that's almost 100-point difference. So going for $2, less than $2 in some leagues, for a 600-point guy, sign me up for him 7 days a week.
Y'all better be taking notes. Y'all better have a pen and pad for that. That was good.
Really,
The only thing I want to add, like for Max Muncy, he did have a 212 batting average. I do see that getting a little better.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that dude bombing it over the fence. But the only thing that kind of had me at was the little over 200. I think he'll get better. I'd see him being in like the 250s maybe.
I have a hard time counting the 2020 season from a stat perspective, just because I think everything was really wonky. I'm not discarding the 2020 season by any means. I'm just saying from an individual stat perspective. But his 2021 year was so different than the last 2 years that we've seen from him, so much better than the last 2 years that we've seen from him. Again, I have a hard time, like, if a guy like Shohei comes on your team, I have a hard time not showing up to work every single day 110% ready.
Yep.
I don't know what you do if not that.
Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, like, people who are watching this, like, where the F is Manny Machado, bro? But like, if you like really look into it and see, the stats and whatnot and what he's going for in salary cap, it really doesn't make sense to pay for $20 of that guy.
That's precisely the reason that I put him up against Jaime Candelario earlier today, as far as the player perspective goes. Because I firmly do not believe this guy's worth it. And I hope that I can bait somebody into paying $20 for him, because I'll be happy.
Yeah, I see that too.
And my response to all that is I talk about who I want to talk about.
Who that is. I can only take a gander at what you want to talk about.
Zach Geloff, baby.
Let's go. Let's go. Now he's at 51. 51 to 55.
Dude, I was so sad. You guys know, I did a Serpentine draft a couple days ago, and I was like, there was a dude who drafted before me who his team's logo is the Oakland A's logo. And then I'm like, you're gonna take Zach Geloff.
Did he end
right
up
here.
taking Geloff?
He took it right before
Mother-
when I was going to, and
That's when you
Oh,
draft Brent Rooker
man.
and you say, you know,
So I want to go over my team and just let me know what you guys think.
yeah, I think that's brilliant.
So this is I did this draft a couple days ago. How this lineup works is, I mean, it's your typical positions: center, first, second, third, shortstop, 3 outfielders, 4 utility bats, and then there's 6 starting pitchers, 3 relievers, and the bench is like all starting pitchers because that's what you want, right? So at catcher, I have Cal Rayleigh. At first baseman, Spencer Torkelson from Detroit.
Mhm.
And this is a 12-team league, by the way. Second base, Hong Seung Kim.
Yep.
Third base, Royce Lewis. Shortstop, Matt McClain. Outfielder, Kyle Tucker. Outfielder, Tatis. Outfielder, Brandon Nimmo.
Yep.
Utility, Ezekiel Tovar. Tyson O'Neill. Josh
Tyler.
Bell. Oh, sorry. Tyler
You're good.
O'Neill. Josh Bell, Sal Frelick as my utility guys. Starting pitching, Luis Castillo, Tyler Glasnow,
Yep.
Sonny Gray, Shane Bieber, Chris Sell, Brandon. How do you say his name?
I think it's just fat.
Him.
Yeah.
I know
Profadita.
yes, he pitched really good in the postseason, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking he's gonna have a good year. My relievers are Josh Hader, Tanner Scott, and Hector Neris for Chicago, and then my pitchers on my bench I have Christopher Sanchez from the Phillies, John Gray from the Rangers, Reese Olson from the Tigers, and then Dean Kremer from Baltimore.
I love Dean Kremer.
He was
we
my
talked
last
about
guy.
this
He
episode
was my
1.
last guy taken. He was
Yeah.
the last pick for me.
We talked about this episode 1. I love Baltimore's rotation, and Dean Kremer is a part of that rotation. The dude is outstanding. He had a rough patch for a little bit last year, but otherwise,
I mean, dude won 13 games and only
Yeah.
lost 5.
and outside of that rough patch, he had a 2.5, 2.6 ERA outside of the stretch where it wasn't good.
Out of a 12-team league, him being my last
Unreal.
player, like he fell
Unreal.
that far.
Yep.
But yeah,
8.925 out of 10.
I'll take it, dude.
8.925.
Anything over a
my
5.
only question is Torkelson, and I like the guy, but he
Mhm.
has to get his strikeouts under control.
Absolutely.
He has to do
Mhm.
that.
So how I do my team,
But you got Josh Bell, so you can kick him to the curb, bring Josh Bell in,
Yeah,
and get
and that
another
was
utility.
kinda-
You'd be good.
I personally don't think Torkelson is going to be in a position where he'll get cut.
Mm-mm.
I think Vegas, if you trust anything that Vegas says, they have the Tigers winning a good amount of games this year. And I have to think that they're assuming that Torkelson is a part of that. And
Yeah.
he was a great flex guy last year, assuming that he takes a step, because that whole team seems to be taking a step.
Dude, him
He's
and
gonna-
Carpenter, I like.
Gary Carpenter,
I like
baby.
him a lot.
That's my boy.
Yep. Him and Carpenter, I like a lot.
Yeah, that's my little serpentine team. I'm gonna be rocking
Yeah,
with that.
I think first 2 picks you had Kyle Tucker and Fernando Tatis, right?
Yeah, that was.
You
I
get
picked
yourself an outfield.
11 out of the 12, and
Yeah.
I went Tucker and flipped it for Tatis.
Yeah, you won 11 and then
outfield.
14.
And then I went back-to-back pitcher Castillo and Glass now. So
Yep, pretty solid.
yeah. But yeah, is there anything that you guys have near and dear to your heart before we call it episode 6?
We just keep getting closer to the draft, man. And I think we're all equally excited for our fantasy baseball draft. Like Brandon's already explained, it's a good one. It's a doozy, right? Everybody takes it quite seriously.
Yeah, it's the competition level.
Yeah,
And it being
that's exactly
salary
right.
cap,
Yep.
there's not really man, this guy's gonna be gone. I'm gonna miss this guy. It's
Nope.
well, you got to pay for him if you want him.
Yep, exactly.
So
everybody
like-
gets nominated. You got a chance for every single person that pops up there. I'm also excited for next week. Outfielders. I mean, I know we're not breaking it up left field, center field, right field, but that's a broad thing. And we've actually, especially with your little serpentine draft that you just had, we've had a lot of discussion as far as who are the top 5 outfielders. There's a good bunch, right? Reports saying Juan Soto number 2, maybe number 1. Obviously, Acuna's in the mix.
Ew.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited to talk about it because my boy Alvarez is going to be number one regardless if he's hurt or not.
Yeah.
So this will be
and
the
Kyle
last.
Tucker.
This will be the last thing I ask you guys before we sign off. If y'all have nothing else, real quick answer. Don't think too much about it. Who has more fantasy points this coming season, Aaron Judge or Juan Soto?
Aaron
Ooh.
Judge.
Juan Soto.
Look at that.
Aaron Judge.
Juan Soto. Do you know
Won't-
why?
Won't you look at that?
Do you know why?
Aaron Judge is going to go 60 home runs this year.
Because
I hope so.
It depends on what kind of baseballs
like
they're
his
throwing in
energy.
New York.
Yeah, I heard
Right?
they're going to
If
lighten
they're
up the
throwing the
baseballs
stupid
there.
ones to get his total up there, then that's fine. Conspiracy theory. We need a sound for that as well.
Woo, woo.
Get your aluminum
No,
foil hats on.
I think the only issue with Juan Soto is the fact that he makes everybody else on his team perform lesser. That's all it is. So I think he's going to have a better year than Judge. It won't be by much.
Noted.
Yeah, it won't be by
Noted.
much, but Juan Soto is going to have a better year than Judge.
That's a question I wanted to ask you guys.
I just
But,
really don't like Juan Soto. So what if you could put Zach Geloff over there? I would say
It's
Zach
'cause
Geloff.
Joe Buck kept telling us how old he was
Yeah.
during those playoff games, that
Yeah.
World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And
we
that's what
don't
I
need to
totally
know.
see with that. Like, I think he's number 2 because he's a Yankee. I just looked at that. I'm like, why is he number 2
Yeah.
over Mookie? Oh wait,
I'm excited, but yeah, trying to be
Mookie's
real here. He's
infield.
playing second.
Yeah,
He's playing second.
yeah, that's right.
Trying to be accurate because if he doesn't go out to right field, I think, and I'll have
What
to
was I
double check
looking
this,
at?
so nobody quote me. I mean, it's recorded, but
Nobody quote me on record.
on record, yeah. I think the limit this year is 15 games. So if a player does not play a position for 15 games that they have eligibility for, they lose that eligibility, I think. And so we'll see
Yeah, I know.
how long Mookie can be put in the outfield spot.
I think I don't know if ESPN's the same, but Yahoo, one of my biggest prospects that I really like at catcher is Henry Davis for Pittsburgh, and Yahoo has him as an outfielder, and he's playing catcher every single day in spring training.
It's because he played outfield. They brought him in.
I know,
they
and
brought
it's
him in
like,
last year.
man, I want him as a catcher, but yeah. All right, guys. Anything near and dear to your hearts before we sign off?
No, I'm happy we made it to week 6.
Yep, we haven't torn each other's heads off yet.
Yeah, or quit.
Or quit. Chandler, you're getting close.
Well, yeah, if you keep stealing my draft picks, man. If you keep stealing them.
All right, Chandler, give me some words of wisdom before you sign off.
He's got a badass name with a badass game.
Mm-hmm.
We call him Colby Garner.
Colby, give me some words of wisdom before we sign off.
Just yeah, I don't know. Just good night, everybody.
Don't get lost in space.
All right, everybody. This is episode 6 of the Wide 80 podcast, and we are signing off as a collective.
See ya.